Welcome. This is Jordan Buckner with Foodbevy, and today we're talking with Gloria, co-founder of Phyter Bar. So let's get started right at the beginning. So Gloria, I'd love for you to tell us about your product, your company, and how you got started.
Sure. Well, thanks so much for having me. So Phyter Bars are a refrigerated, so a chilled bar made with pureed veggies and fruits as the main ingredient. So what we're trying to do is start not really a product, but a movement, a brand, on helping people to find ways that they can grab healthy food on the go. So we like to think of our product as produce in a bar. A lot of bars have different kinds of dried vegetables and fruits, maybe as the fourth or fifth or sixth ingredient, but we're actually making the vegetable or the fruit the hero of the bar, and we're not processing it all. It's just picked from the garden and pureed and put right into our bars. So the whole process of this, the whole reasoning behind this, or where this whole idea came from, was my business partner, who is Chef David Choi Jr. He's from a family of vegan chefs. Their family started the first vegan restaurant in Chicago over 30 years ago, and I've actually known David since he's 8 years old. So I'm not going to tell you how old he is now, because you might figure out then how old I am. But I've been very good friends with their family for years. When I discovered their restaurant when I moved here from New York 30 years ago, I saw what they were doing with the food they had in their restaurant. It was healing people. It wasn't just that it tasted good. People were actually going in there to get healed from, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, obesity, all types of issues. So I had kept in touch with them, and they became part of my family, and I became part of their family. And when David got to be about 15, he asked his dad if he could work in the restaurant to make money. So he thought he was going to be in the back cooking. His dad handed him a mop and a sponge and said, for 1 year, you're going to learn how to clean a restaurant. So not even serve people, you're just cleaning. So
Right.
He really learned the apprentice way from his dad, who's a well-known vegan chef around the world. His mom is also a vegan chef. His brother is a doctor and a vegan chef, so it's in their blood. And they grew up in a Buddhist family, so eating plant-based was not anything new to them. This is the way he grew up. So he worked his way up to being chef and then head chef. So he was head chef of the restaurant for 10 years. And they actually are no longer associated with the restaurant. They gave that to their uncle, but it's still around. But when David was in college at University of Illinois, he was going to school in the day and working at night and couldn't find anything to eat. And a lot of the other bars in the market were filled with sugar, and they were glorified candy bars, basically. And he thought, well, I'm a chef. I can figure something out. So he started putting fresh vegetables in bars. And when he came to me, he said, my dad said I should bring this idea to you. I know you've always wanted to work with our family. And I was in the media business. I worked in radio and television for years, but I was always in my heart and in my soul knew that health and wellness was really where my passion lied. So when I had the chance to help David with this product, I jumped at it. And what we started doing was not selling a product. We started educating people. Why is it important to put more plants on your table? Not try to change people to being vegan or plant-based or don't eat this. We're all about do, not don't. So it was do put more vegetables on your plate. Have your other stuff if you want. You can have your meat and dairy, but make most of what you eat plants. And we got connected through David's father, Dr. T. Colin Campbell. He's the father of plant-based nutrition, and he wrote a New York Times bestseller called The China Study. And this is way back before he became who he is today. And now, he teaches at schools, medical schools all over the world on plant-based nutrition because doctors only need one course in nutrition to get their degree. So he's helping to change that. So we asked him, if we held these little educational seminars, would you let us Skype you? And he's just a good person. And he was like, sure, I'd love to help you because you're being an ambassador to what I believe in, which is plant-based nutrition. So we started doing these classes. We would teach garden clubs. We went to schools, anyone that would listen to us. And where we really got a lot of our passion from was teaching at-risk kids because a lot of them don't have exposure to vegetables or eating healthy. So it really made us feel good to do that. We even worked for corporations. We had some pharmaceutical companies ask us to come out and talk about health and wellness. And when we did these, we would give out these bars. We didn't even call them Phyter Bars at the time. And so people would eat these and say, okay, where can I buy these? These are amazing. And we'd say, well, soon, but, we'd still go on with our education. And Chef David was also always asked to come up to the Chicago Botanic Garden for their Garden Chef series. So we would also give them out there as well. So eventually I got connected to Whole Foods through the Inglewood store that they were opening about 4 years ago. And we were able to present our product. And when we went there, the president of the region at that time said, this is an amazing product, but in a Ziploc bag, it's not going to work. So we said, oh, okay, well, what do we have to do next? And he's like, well, you got to find an investor. Packaging is 75% of your product. And so we were blessed to have Whole Foods mentor us through that process. Every time we went a step, we showed it to them. They said, the first thing you need to do is find an investor. So we were very blessed through all the networking that I've been doing to find an investor who had just sold his company and worked in the pharmaceutical industry for years and wanted to get as far away from it as he could and more into health and wellness. So our other business partner, Jeff Adesco, invested, and we used his money to build our own kitchen. So we self-manufacture because we couldn't find a co-packer at that time that was organic, non-GMO verified, vegan, kosher, and handled with all plant-based. Some of these kitchens would make meat products one day, and then the next day you'd be making your plant-based products. And in our hearts, we just could not do that. So we did the, build it and they will come kind of a method. So eventually Whole Foods accepted us and let us go into about 10 stores back in 2017. And we did so well the first 2 months that they then launched us into the whole Midwest. So since then, we've launched into Fresh Time and Pete's Fresh Market and Sunset Foods and a whole bunch of other stores. And we're really concentrating right now on owning the Midwest customers, which is our home. And that sort of comes from what's happening with COVID right now. As a small company, it's really hard to manage your product when it's across either in the West Coast or the East Coast. So we really, during COVID, decided we're going to really focus on the Midwest and the people that we can actually see and touch and go to the stores. So that's sort of been our mantra. And then eventually, through all the different demos, and I know you've demoed yourself too, demoing was the way we really had people, get to taste our product and buy our product. And when people, in the beginning, we used to call our bars by the names of the vegetable. And a bunch of, time and time again, women would come up and say, oh my gosh, this beet and cocoa bar is amazing, but if you didn't tell me it tasted like a brownie, I would never have eaten it. You really need to call your product what it tastes like, because when you're not demoing, how do I know that? So the light bulb went off, and that's when last year we decided we need to say what the product tasted like. So after thousands of demos, we named the product what people told us what it tasted like. So cocoa brownie, carrot cake, even though it's made with fresh sweet potato, peanut butter cookie, which is actually made with butternut squash and peanut butter, and apple cinnamon, which is actually made with pureed kale, and peanut butter and jelly, which is made with two different kinds of berries and peanut butter. So the big lesson for us during these first few years of owning a company is to really get out there and test it and listen to what your core customers are saying.
That's such an amazing story. How has your business now pivoted through 2020, knowing that it's been a bit of a roller coaster with COVID?
Yeah, so a couple things. So a lot of what we're hearing is to be omni-channel, to not just be focused on brick and mortar, right? So different ways, whether it's through Instacart or your online stores or selling direct to customers. It's a little more difficult when you're a fresh product and you have to be refrigerated. Some of the other refrigerated bars don't really need to be shipped super cold because it's not a pureed fresh vegetable in it. Think of ours as like you're shipping, not ice cream, but something that you just made that's clean with, pureed vegetables. You have to make sure that when you're shipping it, especially in this heat that we're going through right now, that it stays 41 degrees or colder. And so the cold chain process is difficult. We tried Amazon, and we're just not comfortable right now with the way it was being shipped. We tested it. So we took that into our own hands, and we did a ton of testing, and we've got it down to a science on how we ship. And so until we feel comfortable going to a third party, we continue to ship it ourselves. But unfortunately, it becomes costly when you're shipping a product that has to have a 4-inch styrofoam box filled with black ice packs, which are much stronger than regular ice. So we try really hard to discount when we can. We do free shipping, but that's just a little bit of a challenge for us. But during this whole COVID time, we've focused really hard on social media because everybody was on social media, right? I do see it coming kind of like teetering off right now. In the height of it, like April, May, so many more people were following us on Instagram. And not that they're not following us, or you get people that normally wouldn't follow you following you or commenting on you. We reached out to some influencers that normally would charge you that were doing that out of the goodness of their heart because they knew we were a local product. So we were really blessed, to just reach out to people and have them talk about us. So we're just kind of like, again, focusing on keeping the stores that we have, staying in fridge or on shelf, with fresh is in fridge, in the stores that we're already in, the 50-plus Whole Foods stores that we're in, the 70-plus Fresh Time stores that we're in, all of our other direct accounts and local. We work, we also work with colleges. We work with the Northwestern Wildcats. Well, and we're in their athlete fueling station. Well, their athletes just recently started coming back. So we just, it's going to be a slow movement into what this normal is now. But what we're learning is you have to wake up every day and know that every day with this health issue is going to be different. And you've got to learn to ask for help and reach out to people like we're doing now, helping each other. I have so many good friends that are local food owners, and I've been really blessed to be sharing ideas with them and doing group giveaways and things like that. The hatchery's been a wonderful support group for us. You always want to feel like you got someone as a young product to turn to, and Family Farms and Naturally Chicago and the hatchery have been great resources for us. So I highly recommend any business owner that's not a member of those groups to definitely look into that. That's been really good for us.
Gloria, that's amazing, and such a powerful story in terms of how you've gotten started and navigating the challenges that all of our businesses are going through right now. So thanks so much for talking with me today, and best of luck for the rest of the year into the future.
Thanks so much. And when you're in a grocery store, look in the refrigerator and look for our cute little Phyter Bar. So just a little bit about our new packaging is we started to go with veggies in disguise. So we got these cute, and I should be holding up a product right now. We're hang on, maybe I've got one. Nick, grab one from the fridge real fast. Grab me a couple of them. And so we went with this whole concept of veggies in disguise. So you're eating a vegetable, but you don't know it because it tastes like a brownie. So here's one of our cutest guys. This is our apple cinnamon. So it's called adorable. Apple cinnamon, but it's a kale in disguise with a little top hat.
That's adorable.
So not that we're going after kids, but kids do love us. But it's got more of an adult humor on the thing. It just says, just a tasty treat, living my best life. I'm totally kaling it, you guys. So we're trying to make it fun to eat healthy. So our packaging is bright now. It jumps off the shelf. People notice the cute little caricatures, and it's really fun to play with these caricatures when you're doing branding. So hopefully everybody will go grab a Phyter Bar from the fridge and enjoy it.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Gloria. Really appreciate it, and we'll share out where people can buy it and support.
Thanks so much, Jordan. You take care, and good luck to you and your business, too, at T Squares.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.